I think we should probably cover the news pretty quickly.
What has happened?
Because today is the 8th anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, A Realm Reborn.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. That's a good day for me to be talking about having finished FF 2.0.
The 27th of August, 2013.
So, yeah, right. Tales from Twilight. To commemorate the 8th anniversary of FF14, we proudly present a new collection of side stories with Tales from Twilight. Take a glimpse at pivotal moments in the life of our game's most beloved characters. Begin with our first installment, The Burden of Duty. This is the stories you were talking about to me earlier in the office.
Look at this. Final Fantasy XIV also has a transmedia narrative. Shit game, awful game, terrible franchise, etc. But no, they have a couple of these for I can't remember.
By the way, if this gets clipped and people think you're
a bit sarcastic.
just to say, we're being sarcastic because transmedia narrative stuff has been done very wrong by Blizzard Entertainment. Yeah. As an example, do you want to understand all of the aspects of the recent story regarding Sylvanas Windrunner? Well, good for you. You can pre-order World of Warcraft Sylvanas, a novel coming out February 2022. All right, back to the point.
So
now that we're safe.
Yeah, so all of that doesn't really happen here. Outside of the Encyclopedia Eorzea, which just has details on the world, there's nothing else to buy. This is all published stuff, and it's always just backstory or a little bit of flavor about stuff. Like The Burden of Duty, which I read today, is new, and it's just a little bit of detail about the past of two characters that you meet in Stormblood. And they're great characters. There's a little bit of detail. I went back and read some of the other ones because the ones from I was about to say fucking Shadowlands. The ones from Shadowbringers are actually fantastic. I've read a couple of them now, and they're literally just beautifully written with a very specific bit of direction, very specific goal in mind to talk about a specific character or a specific concept, or to kind of bring a little bit of during this this character's history, or if you read it and then watch a cutscene back again, you'll maybe go, oh, that's a thought I hadn't thought before. But there's nothing new. It's just really nice. It's just really nice. And you can tell that, you can tell it feels like stuff they wanted to put in game, but had no place for it. So the writers just went, fuck it, write it. Off we go. Also, their time getting them for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Get your renowned bar.
Yeah, but no, I can't even remember the name. One is Ere Our Curtain Falls, for the Tales from the Shadow, which is definitely don't read it until you're finished until you're completely caught up, but it's so good. It's really nice, really nice.
So that's some pretty nice stuff. The Rising returns on August 27th. So that's the in-game event.
Yep,
Yoshi P usually shows up during the Rising to speak with players in a fourth wall breaking cut.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yep.
There he is!
Yeah, there he is, surrounded by all the NPC Lalafels.
Holy shit.
Yep, but he literally, that will be his character. That'll be him speaking in, I think it's framed as like a dream, where he speaks to the Warrior of Light about their adventures and stuff like that. Basically, usually around the same point of, he'll be talking to them about stuff in Shadowbringers, this thing. Not specifically, but generally.
Okay.
And it's just nice.
So Blizzard needs to commission a high-res Grugthok and just have him, hop over for a wee chat with her characters whenever he falls asleep. Right. Now there's the bits that I get why the FF people are okay with the store, because generally they feel very well taken care of as customers. New optional items and Adventurous Celebrations store where, there is a sale. New optional items. We've got optional items.
Minion, I got a painting for your wall. You've got Fantasia sale, you've got sale on mounts and stuff.
It's not your man's outfit, but...
Yeah, Alphino's outfit.
Shit.
Oh, the Fenrir's on sale. Might buy that. Fuck. Oh, wait, hang on.
We then have actions being taken against in-game real money trading and other illicit activities.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yes, so this actually, there's a little bit of Blizzard in this. It's nice whenever Blizzard gives us updates in these things. I just think in general, the more the merrier. But yeah, this is just them, fighting RMT. And that sort of thing, with 4,700 accounts terminated, 12 temporary suspensions. So fucking hell, you really, damn, only. Yes, we've got 12, jail sentences and 4.5 or over 4,500 executions. Cool,
good.
So good shit. Yep. Get out of here, bad stuff.
Yeah,
and then we have got the bad news. FF14 has had bad news. they're not their fault. They do seem to be doing their damnedest to fix this problem. But yeah, greetings. This is your producer and director, Nakai Yoshida. I'd like to say huge thanks. Basically thanking people for the support. On the other hand, the number of simultaneous logins has continued to hit the upper limit, especially in the NA and EU data centers and worlds. And so they're giving an update. Basically, login cap has been increased once they can confirm stability post-maintenance. In late September, they're planning to replace some equipment with higher performance machines in order to further increase the login cap. They've observed considerable levels of congestion on European data centers over the past few weeks, especially during weekends. Though the login queues have been quite long, please rest assured they're working properly, and they apologize for the inconvenience, but ask people to wait their turn to log in. Classifying all Aether data center worlds as congested. That's pretty big. Yeah. I think that means no new character creation.
Data center's been turned off. No one's allowed in. Aether's closed.
In the meantime, we kindly request you consider creating a character on a world within the Primal or Crystal data centers. Yeah, once again, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this will cause to our players in the North American data centers. It's really hard. And as we covered earlier, they are legit. They just cannot get the hardware fast enough.
Yep.
They cannot get the engineers deployed to install the hardware fast enough. The silicon shortage is basically reaming them. He says, to address the congestion situation, our infrastructure and development teams are working closely to plan large-scale solutions such as expanding our data centers and adding new worlds. As previously mentioned, there's an ongoing global shortage and increased demand for semiconductors, and quite frankly, we are struggling to source the required equipment. Additionally, the recent resurgence of COVID-19 in Japan has raised major concerns regarding their ability to travel overseas for on-site implementation, and these setbacks have made it difficult for them to cut down on the time required to implement these changes. Considering the current situation, they will likely require more time in implementing our large-scale solutions. The circumstances surrounding our infrastructure are far from ideal, but I promise that we will continue to persevere in implementing any solutions we can. Thank you for understanding and continued support. And when you see, I know it's like a bit of a nicer promo image, but in a way, but the one of like Yoshida just lying on the floor with a Red Bull. And you do get a sense that there's definitely things to be said about aspects of Japanese work culture that, it can be pretty rough if you're just clocking in all hours of the day and then feel like you have to go and drink with your boss and then, get one of those manga cafes that you sleep in that's near the office because it's too much time to go back to the train station and then go home and then commute again. It's tricky stuff, but goddamn, you gotta respect them. And I think the core takeaway here seems to be that Final Fantasy XIV has there are no numbers to support this, but that they seem to be having so many issues here. It's as if they've reached the next level of scale.
Yeah, well,
it's truly been big.
Yeah, Lucky Bancho's not done a census in a while, but the last census in July, I think, was 1.2 million active characters above 60, which doesn't include any free trials.
That's pre-Asmon as well.
That was pre-Asmon.
And he might have something to do with the Aether data center.
Do you think so?
I saw him get shit for that. It's not his fault. He's just enjoying playing a game, and a lot of people joined up with him.
He's a trendsetter,
That's it, yeah. I guess the most we can say is, I believe they have said, wish we had World of Warcraft budget.
Yeah, he said that before, yep.
Square Enix, I think, have got every reason to give that team all the resources they could possibly need. So I suppose very, very suck if you just want to play the game and you have a multiple hour login queue. It's hard for me to speak to that issue because I've never had a login queue more than 5 minutes on Zodiac Lite EU.
Yeah, I think the worst.
That said, a bunch of my logins have been at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, whenever it's prime time, it gets to be a couple of minutes, but it's you're looking at maybe 10, maybe 15. But I think Europe either has substantially less players, or their server situation is significantly better. So I imagine server availability in Europe is probably better overall than NA stuff. At least I think so. Because I guess infrastructure there's usually a little bit better. Because I know, Riot. Some of it's due to data center locations, but I know Riot had a very, very good series of posts about how they set up the League of Legends was using not so much bandwidth, but it was so important to using so much traffic that they actually had to work with ISPs and countries and stuff to actually get infrastructure to work. They set up their own places that they owned entirely to redirect data through so people could get lower ping on American servers. So I feel like the American server problem is substantially worse than the European one.
Ah, man. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, good luck to them. Seems like a hard problem. Yeah. Perhaps maybe first few patches of Endwalker we'll see a greatly different situation here.
NA will be rough, I think. But actually, there's another thing I want to say about just because people have been reminded here in chat that they were streaming earlier doing I think it was the Mana data center, the Japanese data center stress test, and it was, oh man, they were explaining it was in Japanese, and I haven't seen a translation yet because obviously been fucking doing this, but they explained a lot of why their servers are having problems or how their server load is actually managed and balanced. It seemed that way from what I was watching and trying to listen to while I was working earlier, but they were going through all of this stuff there. Literally, here's a presentation with, we had an artist draw a little picture. We have this layout of how our server, how things are sent across. And it's really fucking, it's really interesting that they were doing that. So it was. So they're communicating very openly is what I mean to say.
Yeah.
To a level of detail that feels structured in a different way, but similar to how Blizzard were talking about the Sanctum of Domination lag earlier.
Yeah. And from both companies, it's what we want to see. Yep. And, it's like to Blizzard, there's no shame in there's no shame in looking at Yoshi P and seeing the amount of value that the overall just situation of that man brings the company and brings the players. It's like a sort of a super ghost crawler situation, like a mega ghost crawler.
Basically, yeah.
In a way, there's a big value in that. Now, there's pros and there's cons there. Of course. Where if we were to enter Dark Timeline Yoshida, someone's had, it could be very bad and damaging for the company. So that's why you only, a position like that's only given to the people you can really trust super good. But there's lessons to be learned for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think as well, just the thing with him is what they pulled off with this game is so miraculous, especially considering they did not cut and run their original players, that it's just such a heroic game dev story that you can't help but like the people involved. I think that No Clip documentary that Danny O'Dwyer and team did. I mean, yeah, it's a good watch. Yep. So yeah,